I like weird things. Parallel dimensions, altered timelines, the general unexplained. You can see it in the books I read and the podcasts I listen to. I enjoy a nice, soothing, paranormal mystery on a cool night. I don't believe a word of it, but I do like to see people's different interpretations of events and the creative things that they make using those ideas. That kind of explains why I like SCPs, Control, and Alan Wake. One thing that falls under that umbrella that I really love is the idea of antiquated technology having additional abilities that influence or channel the paranormal, like the hotline in Control, or the typewriter in Alan Wake. I think it's interesting to me because technology from the future could theoretically be and do anything you can imagine. But if the technology existed in a meaningful capacity for a previous generation, then you're already aware of its existence. But the fact that it's no longer used creates an inherent sense of mystery regarding how to use it, along with its capabilities. For Oxenfree, that bit of technology is a radio. You play as Alex, and with your new stepbrother Jonas and best friend Ren, you go to an old World War II bunker island turned tourist trap to have one last beach party before going back to school for senior year. And there are rumors that there are caves running throughout the island where phantom radio frequencies can be tuned into and weird stuff happens. Now this video isn't really going to have that many spoilers. I'm only really going to spoil some very early plot points and some side content. And I won't even be talking about how that side content relates to the main game. So proceed at your own risk, but it's pretty safe. Those rumors are true. Weird stuff happens in spades. It appears that by tuning into the proper frequency, Alex has ripped a hole in the space-time continuum. Things continue to get even weirder when you realize that your entire group of friends has been scattered across the island and none of you can remember how you all got there. The overall goal is to regroup and find a way to get the hell off the island, but it's complicated, and it turns out that radio is an integral piece of the puzzle. So much so that it happens to be the main mechanic of the game in addition to narrative choices that come up in conversations with other characters and occasionally yourself. Tuning into 102.3 at certain locations will tell you more about the island's history and really start to create a more detailed picture of the places you explore. You can tune into 140.1 to hear messages left by the island's mysterious benefactor that lead you to clues that shed more light into the mysteries of the island. Radios are used by the characters to communicate throughout the night because all the phones are down, and you can use the radio in order to unlock doors by matching a call sign frequency assigned to that door. Nikola Tesla would be proud. If you don't know much about Tesla or you haven't seen my video on Close to the Sun, Tesla was interested in controlling ships with radio waves. One of the cooler things that radios do in this game is interact with the paranormal, which introduces some of the most compelling horror that the game has to offer. Interacting with a mysterious red object in this room specifically forces you into a sick game of trivia where reality starts warping and it appears your souls are on the line. But perhaps one of the most horrifying and interesting things you can experience are the anomalies. Anomalies are places on the island that you can tune into a specific radio frequency and hear a message. Seems pretty straightforward, but it actually goes pretty deep. There are several that remind me of the radio in PT, specifically this one.
William Marshall, a local park ranger working in Edwards Forest, killed himself today after what his wife describes as a years-long battle with depression. His body was found hanging from a tree.
There are some that reference real-life events in media that are incredibly relevant to the plot, like a list of real-life subs and ships that seem to be direct influences for the great calamity that befell the crew of the USS Kanaloa in the game. But perhaps the coolest thing about the anomalies is that some of them start with a message similar to a numbers station. And if you don't know what a numbers station is, here's a clip.
39715. 39715.
And the numbers included lead to a phone number that you can call in real life that leads to an ARG. Sadly, it's long over, but it is worth reading about if you like that sort of thing. I'll throw a link in the description. As important as radio is, I think it's also going for audio in general, and not just radio. Apparently, if you take some of the anomalies and speed them up, or play them backwards, or collapse stereo tracks into mono, then they play hidden messages. And that kinda gives me the chills. I don't know, there's something about hiding haunting audio within audio that's already pretty spooky, but I only found out in retrospect, but it was always there. It makes my skin crawl. It's like the audio equivalent of feeling like somebody's watching you, but there's nobody there. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's kinda all I wanted to talk about on Oxenfree. The rest of the game is really good too, but these are the things that really stuck out to me. If it sounds interesting, then by all means, go play it for yourself. I wholeheartedly recommend it to you if you like the subject matter and the style of the game. If you're not a huge fan of paranormal stuff or of indie games, then maybe take a pass on this one. But I might still recommend watching a playthrough if it seems interesting. Also, I think there's a sequel coming out soon, so that'll be good. And I know at the end of every video there's the obligatory call to arms to like and subscribe, but I actually need something different. You'd be doing me a huge favor by sharing any of my content with somebody you think might like it. It would help tremendously in building a community that likes to analyze, discuss, and just play games. And so with that, I'll see you all in the next one.